Hello again, this is Eric with Archive Garage, and in our last video we left off talking about the Sequoia, and which features a fully boxed frame, and these two trucks here that we're looking at, the 2005 plus Tacoma and the 2006 Tundra, have a different frame. They're boxed up until the driver footwell area, and then after that it's an open C-channel frame. And we're going to talk about a couple of the problem areas that kind of give growth to this insidious rust that ends the lifespan of these frames. And so we're going to talk about that problem and then how to deal with it, how to slow down or completely stop the rusting with periodic treatments. So let's get in. This frame rail here, or the frame on the Tacoma, was replaced in 2016 by Toyota, and it was from North Carolina. The body is spotless on it, and they must have found something in the frame though, because it got replaced. And then shortly before it started snowing, after I bought it, I had it coated with an excellent product, which is the Crown undercoating system, applied by Superior Auto Sales, Camp Road in Hamburg, New York. Highly recommend that. It's years, 2.5 years later, there's still a light oil coating on the bottom of the body. So I'll try to point that out later in the video. So let's get into the problem areas, and we're going to use the Tundra with the frame that was replaced by Toyota in 2012 to illustrate what those problem areas are. Okay, so first, just to show you how haggard the bed is on this. It's already been patched by a previous owner, but this truck has been through 20 years of difficult winters. So here's what the frame looks like now, and right off the bat we can kind of see one of the problem areas, and that is any place that you have a sandwiched bracket, or what I call a frame liner. It just holds the moisture in between those two, and it just provides a great spot for water cohesion and then rust. And if that's left alone for too long, it's going to ruin the frame. Okay, so we're gonna roll underneath this Tundra, and we're gonna point out some of the more critical areas. So here we are at the forward of the rear wheel. Here's the rear wheel, and oh God, there it is, folks. This is the reason Toyota Tacoma and Tundra frames rust out. Here we have a sandwiched strength plate, or what the medium duty truck market calls a frame liner. Those are notorious for leading to rusting issues. So let's take a look up in there. Eek. So you can see how the rust it's starting to get to work in between those. 6 or 7 years in. Okay. All right, we're gonna pause here. We're gonna move down to the front area here. So here we are, right behind where the frame boxed area ends, and if you look up in there, Toyota gave us another little angle, and you can see how the rust has started, or all around the edges, and you can imagine, you know, what's happening behind that. Probably the same thing. Let's see here. rust in here. Okay, we'll go across the other side, fuel tank area. All right, so those are the most critical areas underneath. And now we're over at the driver front corner. We're going to take a look here. Not hideous, but this area here too, that hole, that's an entry point for water to get down in there, because there's a lot of spray coming off the front tires, and so that's just a common entrance point. Okay, so there we've highlighted, given examples of the problem areas with these frames. So next we're going to move over to the Tacoma with the similar frame, and we're going to show what that looks like when you are conscientious and you spray some oil around those frame liner and strength plate areas, that it just inhibits any rust from even starting. So let's go take a look at that. Okay friends, now we're under a 2005 Tacoma, and we're gonna look at more of those areas where Toyota has added strength plates inside the C channel, and we're gonna take a look at the difference when you get some oil up in that. Here's a scary area. There's two channels in, what is it, right here. So there's two edges to catch, and there ain't much of a drain hole here. We got one there. I don't see much more. So, you know, I recall getting undercoating or WD-40 down in between these two little channels here, because there is like that's a great spot for stuff to sit. You know, I even put never sees on the brake lines. This truck is good for 20 years, I'm sure. Let's see, take a look up in there. You can see another area where it's like a double angle, and they've got welds even. But what you don't see is any rust, even though this has been through 2 salty Buffalo winters. Let's take a look down here. Okay, now this area back here and on between the outside channel is a common area for there to be holes between the two. Let's see if we can see. Can you see how there's 2 full channels? Just like on the Tundra, there's 2 full channels up in there that are sandwiched together with rivets. Okay, you can see how it's riveted. And then here we have the hanger for the front hanger for the leaf spring area. Okay, that is a very common area. Sometimes you'll see rust holes in here. Things are, you know, the rust is actually making the metal expand out. Another common area is the forward area here near the body mount. The body mount can get holes in it. So if you just do one application on this, it's going to save years of lifespan on these frames. Now this truck was coated by Crown, as I said, first thing. Then I've gone back and treated this with fluid film. You can see how it's not ugly. It's as a coating goes, I'd say. Still wet because I only did that a month ago or so. This has been recoated, but you know, it's in good shape. And we'll take a look up at the body here. This was coated by Crown only, and you can kind of see there's like oily here. This is still oily. Just a nice light coating, but everything is rust free. Here's the other side. So once you do that, you know, these frames are pretty, they're going to be in good shape for a couple decades, I'd say. So all right, well, next what I'd like to show is the application of some of these products, and just to show you how they go on, more good stuff like that. So stay tuned for the next part. Thank you.